The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual guests. If you're a sensitive snowflake that may get easily offended, then turn this off immediately. If you want to hear the real truth about the gun culture, then stick around. This is the Armed Citizen Podcast. What's going on, my Ghost Squad? Welcome to the Armed Citizen Podcast Live. This is episode number 194. Today's date is Tuesday, June 1st, 2021. If you're out there in the live chat, welcome to the dark side. We hope to not make you any dumber. We can't promise that, but we're going to try to have a little fun tonight. But if you're out there in the live chat and you have a question, comment, whatever, tag myself or someone else in the panel, and we'll try to get to those questions if they're on topic. But tonight, there's really not. It's more of a having fun with it, so there's really not going to be a terrible need to stay on topic. So any of those questions out there, comments, go ahead and tag us, and we will try to get those read and all of that. If you want to call in, yes, you can call in or text into the show. Go ahead and utilize the Ghost Tactical Hotline presented by our good friends Rod and Shelly Gates at theguncleaners.com. That number is 530-364-4678. If you're a veteran, well, basically if you're anyone, but especially a veteran, and you're in that dark place, that hole, and you can't find that light, or hell, you're thinking about, is there a light there anymore? Then call me, text me, email me, whatever, 24/7. I can't give you medical advice, but seriously, I can probably be a decent ear and maybe talk you through some stuff. If you're looking for some place that can direct you towards medical help and all of that, please remember two things. One, you're not alone. You have a lot of brothers and sisters out there that are willing to help you. And two, the world is a much better place with you in it. So contact the Veteran Crisis Hotline, 1-800-273-8255. Once again, 1-800-273-8255, the Veteran Crisis Hotline. As always, we're going to be spotlighting the United States Marine Corps. If you have any questions on what it takes to earn the title of United States Marine, check out the website marines.com. And as always, we are a proud member of the Self-Defense Radio Network. You can see up there. It's a great website that has all the pro-gun, pro-2A, pro-freedom podcasts that you're looking for. A lot of them are friends of ours, and you probably know all of them over there. And if you're looking for that one spot to kind of listen to all of them, check out selfdefenseradio.net. Let's get this son of a bitch off of my ugly mug and bring in the couple guests that we have tonight. We're going to kind of, I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm tired. I had a long weekend at work. Great weekend, but a long weekend. I did not realize that today was Tuesday, with the holiday being yesterday. I didn't realize that today was Tuesday till about 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock or so. So I hadn't even thought about a topic. I've been watching a couple of movies at night and all that, and I said, well, let's talk about movies that have guns in them. What are some of our favorite guns in movies? What are our favorite movies with guns? Basically just have a good time, and I'm being lazy, but I think it's fun. We'll have a good time. I think maybe the audience will have a good time. So let's have fun with it tonight. If you're looking for a serious conversation that's going to change the world, this ain't it. This ain't it tonight. But we can have a good time. It's always good to have a good laugh. We've already lost several people. That's cool. Bye-bye. It's all good. We'll have fun with the people that do want to stick around and have a little fun. And like I said, we can go down whatever rabbit holes. We don't have to stay on the topic of movies or what all that. We can go down whatever rabbit hole you guys want. So throw those questions out there, comments, whatever. Let's bring in a couple guys that are going to be hanging out with me, trying to keep this this train wreck from happening, all the way from the beautiful Northwest. I don't know if it's Northwest. Do you consider Montana Northwest? I guess they kind of do, don't they?
Montana is still considered Northwest.
Okay. What's up, bro? How you doing?
I don't know how, but we are. I'm doing okay, man. You're coming off a kind of a crappy day of work, but this is going to be kind of the thing to kind of lift my spirits, because we're just going to have fun. So thanks for having me. Yeah, man. Long weekend at work. Like I said, a great weekend, Memorial Day weekend. But man, it was
It was crazy. It was the busiest Memorial Day weekend I've had in 18 years since I've been at this job. So I'm hoping that means that it's going to trend like that all year long, but I'm not going to lie. I'm worn assed out. Someone who is not worn assed out because he doesn't do shit in life, but from the great state of Texas, the tactical laziness. Leprechaun himself. What's up, Clove?
Doing nothing's hard work, man.
I guess it would be. I wouldn't know.
I work harder at doing nothing than I would if I was actually doing something.
That's the way it goes, though, isn't it? It's so funny because I hear people all the time. Now that I'm retired, I seem to be more busy, or I'm working harder than I was when I was working all those years and all that. I hope I get to the day where I could retire. I hope I get to that point. But yeah. So let's go up here and say hello to everybody. Mystic was the first one out there. Buck was second. 223 DMR's out there. Buck, Gun Loving Grandpa's out there. Del Ray, Dan. Salute. I'm still working, but we'll try to jump on when driving home. Hey, man. Always glad to have you. Be safe out there driving. Be safe. I don't want to be the reason why you get into a car accident. Can't guarantee it, but I don't want to be the reason. Let's see. Rogues out there pulling double duty. Let's see here. So 223 out there. Clover will like this. He says, I went full FUD tonight. Just camoed his farm truck with a paint roller and exterior paint. He's going to do a desert pattern. I like it. I want to see pictures of this. So I have actually never seen anyone do a roller job on their vehicles. Have you guys ever seen that? I bet you that actually turns out pretty good if you do the stenciling, right?
Yeah, I've seen folks use they use that spray on bed liner type stuff.
Yep.
But you can also get it. You can get it like in paint cans, right?
Yeah.
And they'll roll it because it gives a texture. So it's already kind of
spray it on and then roll it after it's already sprayed on, I guess. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. You like,
okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then it gives a texture. Plus it spreads it too, right? It'll spread it and it'll give it this texture that looks like, I don't know, almost like when you finish out drywall. You know what I mean? I mean, you mud everything and then you texture it. It looks
like a ceiling texture, that gritty.
Yeah, more or less. And it doesn't show scratches, right? That's the thing about that. Especially if you're talking a farm truck or deer lease vehicle or something, right? You're driving through the limbs are dragging it. Well, if it's textured, if it's smooth, you're going to see the scratches, right? If it's textured, then
wait, are you saying that people don't treat their farm trucks great? They don't drive those like safely and slow and being careful with them? Are you kidding me? My best friend in high school had a 78 Blazer. And if you guys are familiar with those were the big ones, like the big Blazers. It was a diesel, and it was their ranch truck forever. And when he turned 16, his dad got a new ranch truck and gave him that. But it had, there's no telling how many miles I had on it at that point. But that thing was an absolute beast. And you could tell they didn't give a damn about what that thing looked like as a ranch truck. And, but it was just one of those old cool Blazers. It had the convertible thing. The back would come off. And, oh, man, it was a great summer truck for sure. Yeah, he didn't give a shit how he drove that because they didn't care for the first, 15 years they had it as a ranch truck, Let's see here. DJ Play Nice is out there. Clover's out there as well. Let's see here. Wield and Well Arms out there. What's going on? Warsaw Patriot, what's up? Guitar Man Pete. What's up, Pete? That's my homie there. Pete's a good one. Yeah, got a text coming in. We'll go to that here in a second. Keith Gregory's out there. He ain't bad for a squid. I like Keith. He's not bad for a squid. Let's see here. DJ says, have a good time after the show, changing your world by participating in your rights. Here's a link to the proposed ATF changes. Yeah, if you haven't left a comment yet, there's a lot of different things that is a part of this proposed change with uppers and lowers and serializing certain things, and it's really interesting. So if you haven't, go ahead and leave a comment out there. But here's the thing. Here's one thing that a lot of people don't realize. You can't just leave one. You're able to leave as many as you want. So even if you have left a comment, leave more. I think I've left 4 or 5 already. I remember the last one. What was it, the pistol brace we had so much success with back in December or whatever. I think Clover had like 20 some odd comments that he left, and that's great. If you don't have to put everything into one, make one succinct comment. Do another one, and break them down into comments instead of having this novel that they're not going to read. Break it up, and you're able to leave as many comments as you want. Clover, when you were, let's go down this rabbit hole for a second. But when you were doing the pistol brace, I know you left a bunch of comments.
Yeah.
What was the strategy on how? How is your strategy in the comments? Did you do like one thought per comment, or what was how'd you do with that?
Yeah. So if you go through the Federal Register, and that's not just for the ATF, it's for all sorts of things. And
sure,
you look at the final rulings, I guess, that they issue after the comment period. You'll notice that my thought is they probably use a combination of temps and AI, but they almost have to use AI with the amount of comments they get to help at least sort it somewhat. But in all of those final rulings, they talk about the different topics that are commented on, right? So they're looking at it in some way, shape, form, or fashion. They have to be. So with that in mind, and knowing that they divvy it out or they sort it according to topic, my suggestion is absolutely unequivocally do not write a novel. Break out each thought, each grievance, each argument separately. One thing that I do is, whenever I'm just thinking about it, and you can do a few things. You can go to these organizations, never copy and paste their form letter junk, but you can go through, and it's basically a novel. Go through and you could get easily 5-6 comments a lot of times out of those form letters. And then another thing is go read previous comments, because some of these people, you're like, oh snap, I didn't think about that. That's a great point. And then just comment again and just basically plagiarize, basically copy their stuff, put it in your own words though, right? And that's another comment. And so, yeah, you could, theoretically speaking, you could leave 3, 4, 5, 6 comments a day easily for, a week or two, if that's what you wanted to do. Now that's going to do a few things. That's going to give them more work to do, which certainly doesn't hurt my feelings. But it also ups the comment numbers and all of that stuff as well. So, yeah, to me, that's the way to go.
Yeah, I'm going over here real quick, trying to go through my history to get that link to get to the comment. Let's see here. Frame or receiver and identification of firearms. So here we go. Copy this. I'm going to put this out in the chat so you guys can go read what they're saying, and then obviously go ahead and leave your comment. Let's see here. Yeah, and PNW says topic sentence 3 to 5, detailed sentences, concluding sentence. It's not hard. Like I said, and if you think of something else, remember you can't just leave. You can leave as many as you want. So utilize that. Todd Ingram says howdy from New Hampshire. Howdy. Do they say howdy in New Hampshire? I don't believe they do. I'm going to say that you're a New Hampshire implant. I don't think that you're actually probably born and raised, because if you're saying howdy, I don't believe they say howdy in New Hampshire. Prove me wrong, Todd. Prove me wrong. But he says, owned an 84 full-size Blazer. Used to love to take the top off. Hands down, the most favorite fun vehicle I ever owned. Yeah. That thing was a beast. It was a diesel. I think it's probably still running if you wanted it to. It was an absolute beast. All right. Thanks, Pete. Pete says he's going to repost it. Very good. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for doing that. God, I love my mods, man. They're awesome. John C's out there again. He says, I'm back from San Bernardino behind enemy lines in California. What's going on? Andrew Faulkner just showed up. A&A's out there, says, I say howdy in Ohio. I've lived here all my life. Well, you're different, dude. I mean, it's just one of those. You're a different dude. Anyways, Todd says, true. Born and bred a mass hole. I've lived free or die, but best movie with guns is Val Kilmer and Heat. Heat's a good one. Heat's a good one. My favorite movie with Val Kilmer is probably The Saint. I love that movie. But my favorite character of Val Kilmer is not even in the same planet, is his rendition, his interpretation of Doc Holliday at Tombstone. How he didn't win an Oscar for playing Doc Holliday is beyond me. It is what it is. But yeah, I liked Heat, but The Saint is my favorite Val Kilmer movie. It was great. Great one. You guys like any Val Kilmer movies at all?
I generally don't watch too much Val Kilmer, but yeah, him as Doc Holliday was the best for me. I absolutely agree. The way he brought that character to life, you could swear that was Doc Holliday. At least that's how I would see him.
Yeah, it was funny because I was watching an interview with him. This is several years ago. And they were asking him, how did you come up with the voice and all of that? And he said he was talking with his voice coach. And he said, there's really nothing to look at because no one knows what Doc Holliday sounded like. No one they didn't know how he was and all that because there's really not a whole lot about all of that stuff. So like, I don't know what to do with it. And he says, what I can picture, this is his voice coach saying, what I picture Doc Holliday is like a Southern aristocrat that's drunk. And so he kind of went in his mind and went this Southern aristocrat that was drunk. And it came all of a sudden this voice of Doc Holliday. And it was, he played that phenomenally well. Val Kilmer is in bad shape right now. I saw a picture of him not too long ago and it wasn't good. I know he's struggling with a lot of stuff. He's not in good shape. I agree. Pete says second worst Batman ever. I'm going to say he's the third worst Batman ever. To me, the worst Batman ever was George Clooney. And I would say the second worst, in my opinion, is Ben Affleck. Not because Ben Affleck did a bad job. I just don't like Ben Affleck. Now, the next Batman will be the worst. I don't know if you guys have heard. Batman's my favorite kind of superhero. He's not really a superhero, but he's my favorite hero because he doesn't have any superpowers. But so Robert Pattinson is the new Batman. And if no one knows who Robert Pattinson is, it's the kid from Twilight. Just saying. That's going to be your new Batman. Just saying. Google Robert Pattinson, and that's your new Batman, folks. So good luck with that.
Well, they're going to have to put a lot of padding in that suit.
Oh my god! There's no way to make him masculine enough to be Bruce Wayne or Batman. No way. See, now this is where we got to differ. 223. I think Keaton is the best Batman. But I'm at that age where he was the first movie Batman, like in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s. He will always be Batman to me. Whether or not he was the best or not, actually, I think Christian Bale was probably the best actor and the best version of Batman. But to me, Batman, when I think Batman, I think Michael Keaton.
It's kind of like Christopher Reeves with Superman, right?
Yeah, exactly. He's always going to be Superman. Now, I like the new guy that was playing Superman. What's his name?
Henry Cavill.
Cavill, yeah. I think he's great, but he reminds me of a young Christopher Reeves. And I wonder if that's why they did that. He looks a lot like young Christopher Reeves.
Well, and the one before him too, the one that plays the Atom on Legends of Tomorrow. He was one or two Superman movies there. And he is almost a spitting image of a young Christopher Reeves. But the movies themselves, the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, are corny as they can be, and everything. But they were, at the time they were iconic movies, and he was just, he was just the man. And then never mind, what he went on to do after his, tragic accident and everything else, and just. Things he did even after that, right? I mean, he just he cemented himself as when you were talking about Val Kilmer earlier. When you first think of Val Kilmer, and I was this way, and it took me a little while when you mentioned Val Kilmer and some of Val Kilmer's movies, and I was like, Val Kilmer, it's like Tombstone, and I can't think of nothing else, right? And then I got to thinking, and I thought, oh
There's a lot
snap,
of stuff.
Top Gun, Kill the
That's where he was
Irishman,
famous.
yeah, Kill the Irishman,
The Doors.
Ghost in the Darkness.
No, there's a great one called.
That one's awesome.
There's a movie that came out maybe late 90s, early 2000s, and it's a great movie. He's not like the main character in it, but oh my god, what's it called? It's about a bunch of FBI agents that are forensic people that are stuck on an island, and he was like their instructor. And oh my god, Mindhunters, phenomenal movie. Top Secret, yeah. How can you forget Top Secret? That was a great movie.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Now here's the interesting thing. So we're talking about people we don't like and all that. So my wife and I were having a discussion. I don't know, not too long ago, and she was like, so and so and so and so. We're talking about actors and movies and all that. And she brings up Brad Pitt, and I was like, I can't get into Brad Pitt. I'm not a fan of Brad Pitt. She goes, I think that's bullshit. She called me on it. I was like, no, I really don't like Brad Pitt. She goes, one of your favorite movies is 12 Monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
It is, yeah. And the reason why you like 12 Monkeys is a Brad Pitt. And I was like, that's fair. And she goes, you love Moneyball. I do love Moneyball. And she goes, Legends of the Fall you like. I do like Legends of the Fall. And she's like, she's Mr. and Mrs. Jones. Like, yeah. She goes, I said,
Mr. and Mrs.
Smith, whatever. And I was like, God damn.
Yeah,
I
know,
Pitt.
right? Yeah,
it's like you go through the list of all his movies, and he's a good actor. He's a great. He's in a lot of great movies. I was like, I don't like him maybe because he's too good looking. But I was like, I guess I like Brad Pitt because he's in every. Like all of his movies are good,
Yeah.
Seven, another great one. Seven, Troy.
Well,
yeah.
Absolutely. So he really Brad Pitt to me stands out with in an ensemble cast, right?
Yeah.
Some of my favorites. I mean, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, obviously, but he's opposite Angelina Jolie, right? So another big star in there with him, and then Fight Club, but Edward Norton, right? And then the Oceans,
Bruce Willis,
Well, the Oceans and the Oceans 11 movies, right? He's there with Clooney and just a whole host of other actors. Andy Garcia. But anyway, he's opposite of all these big, or not opposite, but he's part of an ensemble. And it's just like there's something about Brad Pitt, not as a solo actor, right? Not if he's the only name in the movie, I can't really think of any Brad Pitt movies at this point, right? But if he's a character in there, a fairly main character in there with other people, you're like, that's a pretty good movie.
The only one that I can think of off the top of my head that is a phenomenal one. Now, I'm a baseball guy, so everyone knows me. I'm a really big baseball guy. Is Moneyball. He plays Billy Bean. He is the main character. He drives a movie, but it's not an action or anything like that. It's just a normal movie. He does a great job with that. But yeah, the other ones, you can see, like I said, 12 Monkeys, Bruce Willis.
Oh, and Glorious Bastards. I didn't even think about that.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
But like Seven, you've got Kevin Spacey and Morgan Freeman. So I mean, I get all of that, yeah, for sure. But I'm sitting there going, damn, I guess I like Brad Pitt. That sucks. And then another one. I think another one is in that same kind of a thing is like Matthew McConaughey. I think people are like, I can't stand Matthew McConaughey, but if you look at his work, that dude's a hell of an actor. He really is. He's a really good actor, and he's been in a lot of great movies, but he always gets that rub of being the stoner from Austin,
He's not McConaughey is not one of my he's on very low on the totem pole as far as actors for me. I'm just not a
I'm not saying that. I'm saying I think he's put in the same category as people will sit there and say, I don't like him. And you start naming off movies. And you're like, oh man, I like all those movies. Well, they like him because of McConaughey, or he just happens to be in those movies. But he gives really good performances. And I mean, A Time to Kill. Obviously, Samuel L. Jackson kind of stole that movie, but Matthew McConaughey was great in that movie. Dallas Buyers Club, great movie. The role he played in Wolf of Wall Street, he did it perfectly. I mean, you know, there's these roles that are really, really good. But yeah, I mean, I'm just one of those things where he's way down the totem pole, but he's been in some phenomenal movies.
Yeah. You see, for me, I think he's forgettable. I mean, you name all those movies, and it's funny is I've seen those movies, but I don't remember the only movie I really remember him in is Lincoln Lawyer. And I think it's just
for me. For me, it's the Dragon movie. What was that one?
I don't know.
They know out there in the chat.
For me, the first thing I think of, because this was my favorite.
Him and Christian Bale with the dragons.
Oh, see, I didn't see that one. You know, I when I think of it's one of my top 5 all-time favorite movies, but I'll always think of him as Dazed and Confused. That's just I love that movie and all that, but that will always be McConaughey to me. It is what it is. Now, yeah, defense that brings up Keanu Reeves. A lot of people could not stand Keanu Reeves. And I think that there were a lot of people that didn't like Keanu Reeves even after the whole Matrix trilogy. But I think that a lot of people came around like, oh man, like he's awesome in John Wick and some of these other movies. But there was a lot of people for the longest time did not like Keanu Reeves as well. I think, yeah, absolutely. I think he's one of those out there. Mystic says he's hot. I don't see it. I don't see it, but if you say so, hey, we'll take it. Yeah, and like you said, he couldn't get over Bill and Ted's. I think that's a lot of people that are our age will never look at Keanu Reeves as anything but Bill and Ted's. But that dude has made a shit ton of money in movies, man. I'm telling you, a ton of movies. Guitar Man Pete brings up one. He's one of my favorite actors, Gary Oldman. Absolutely. I think that Gary Oldman is never a leading role. He's more of a leading role like on Broadway and all of that, but in movies, that dude's never a leading role, but he is truly I agree, one of the best actors of our generation for sure, hands down. He can play any type of role. He can play any accent, whatever it is. You're going to believe that he is Russian or he's whatever. He's phenomenal. Great actor. Gary Oldman for sure.
He doesn't leave anything behind when he does his roles.
No. Let's see here. Point Break. Point Break was a good movie. Okay. Here I guess people are already starting to throw out movies. Someone said earlier, any John Wayne or any Clint Eastwood Western. Talking about guns. I mean, duh. Magnificent Seven, great one. I'll tell you another one. Dirty
the original
Dozen.
Or the new one?
I would say the original myself, personally.
Man, I like the new one though.
I do. I'm not saying that I don't like it, but
and I'll tell you why. The only reason I like it, I'm a big Chris Pratt fan.
I am too.
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah. And I mean, he for me, he made that. I mean, it would not have been if they'd have cast anybody else. I'm convinced I wouldn't have cared for it.
Yeah. Dill got this is prefer like Braveheart, Band of Brothers, 300, Gladiator, and all that. Absolutely. Band of Brothers is awesome. All those are great. Liam Neeson. I'm a big Liam Neeson fan. I know a lot of people and Rogue, I think that you even brought this up about Liam Neeson's stance on guns. Whoops. He has special skills. And that's one of those things where I get it. I understand where people are not going to prefer or go support movies with certain actors because of their stance and all that. I get that. I am a big Liam Neeson fan, and I basically compartmentalize that to me is entertainment.
Yeah.
Honest to God, when celebrities talk, I could give two shits what they say.
Well, my problem with Liam Neeson is that, and I think he's a good actor. I enjoy some of his movies, but the problem I have is his whole stance about guns. Guns are bad, blah, 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 blah. But yet guns made him a crap load of money in the movies.
Sure.
Okay. Well,
absolutely.
That gets into, and it's been that way since the dawn of time, but you've got to separate the art from the artist. It's two different things.
Oh, and I get that. But for me, I think he's a great actor. I love him in his roles. He does a good job in his acting, but I don't know, that one just, to me, that's kind of just the whole guns are bad, but I'm going to take your money for it. And it just left a sour note I'll still watch his movies, but I
No, I hear you. Like I said, I don't have a problem when it does that. For me, it's just one of those things where I don't look at celebrities as I don't give a shit what if they never open their mouth. I don't give a damn. Steve Buscemi is way underrated. Yes, Buscemi is awesome. Love Steve Buscemi. Go ahead.
What gets me is, I'm a you do you type person, right?
Right.
And so what gets me is I'll say, hey man, did you see so and so movie, or did you see this, or whatever. Or I'll talk about a movie, right? And not even in the context of the actor. And somebody will come back, oh, so-and-so's in that, and he's anti-gun, and they're this and that. I'm like, oh, man, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the movie, or I'm talking about the gun that was in the movie, or I'm talking about the scene that was in the movie. It's like, really? You can't enjoy life and art enough to put that aside just for a second?
Yeah, it's like Rogue was saying. He was like, he may not like Liam Neeson, but he's probably going to go watch the movies and all that. But there are, Clover, you're right. There are people, I am not going to watch anything that person puts out because, or what, you know what? That's great that you do you, like you said. But for me, I am able to compartmentalize entertainment versus the person. I don't give a shit. Anyways, just because Liam Neeson's on a movie, what makes you think that I give a shit what he says? So that's just one of those things for me.
And for me, I'm not a huge Liam Neeson fan anyway. I mean, he butchered Qui-Gon Jinn in Star Wars, and that color sort of killed it for me. I just didn't like it. So
I understand that.
But Taken, good Lord, I could watch Taken over and over and over.
I know, I can watch.
Now,
I love that.
I don't know that I've watched a Liam Neeson movie since Taken, but I could watch Taken over and over again.
Absolutely. Kevin Costner, American Treasure. I'm not going to go. I like some of Kevin Costner's movies. Obviously, I like obviously one of my favorite, Tin Cup. You've got Bull Durham, Field of Dreams, talking sports movies, mostly baseball movies. I watched it. Was it last night or the night before? I think it was the night before. I watched For the Love of the Game. And if you're a baseball guy, like I am, For the Love of the Game is a great movie. Love that. Yeah, I like some of Kevin Costner's, but then I can't stand about half of it's either I love it or I hate it. And some of Kevin Costner's stuff to me is just boring. It's terrible, but it's one of those things where it's either love it or hate it with me,
So I enjoyed. And you got Alan Rickman, you had Christian Slater, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, right?
Absolutely.
I remember it coming out. Brian Adams did the soundtrack. Man, he was the artist of the day.
That's right.
That was just, and it's still a pretty good movie, and it holds up. But I'll tell you what, if you turn around and you watch the Robin Hood by the dude that redid the Robin Hood, and he's like from Australia. I'm trying to think of a movie he's been in. Good Lord, what's the guy's name? Popular actor. It's on the tip of my tongue.
The two Australian actors I can think of are Chris Hemsworth and the guy from Gladiator, Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe. There you go. Yeah.
Was he in the reboot?
Yeah, he did a Robin Hood. Yeah, he did a Robin Hood. So he actually had an accent, right? But and if you what's that? I never paid any attention to that. All the times I watched Robin Hood, and then that Robin Hood came out, and I was like, something's off. And I realized there was Kevin Costner had absolutely zero English accent at all in the old Robin Hood movie. Nothing. And it was still and I still enjoyed it. It was still a good movie. And it was
the greatest thing was Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Oh,
where they actually made fun of where he says he's actually a Robin Hood who has a British accent.
Oh, that's one of my favorite. That's up there favorite movie of all time. Definitely favorite Mel Brooks.
Yeah,
is Robin Hood Men in Tights.
You've got Robin Hood Men in Tights. You've got some of the greatest like pun movies of all time.
Yeah. Spaceballs.
Spaceballs is up there.
Anything Mel Brooks is on the list.
I would say that I'm not there's some of Mel Brooks stuff. I just didn't care for him. But yeah, Mel Brooks is all that. But The Princess Bride, those kind of movies, you can't help but love those movies,
Well, going back to Kevin Costner, Waterworld is just hated. It seems like it's just loathed. And even now, to me, Waterworld's not that bad.
So when it first came out, I refused to go see it because I was like, doesn't do anything for me. I watched parts of it. No. Then this was, goodness gracious, has it been 9 years? The three of us went over to Okinawa for my wife's sister's wedding. And one of the movies that you could flip through and they had on-demand movies on the flight, one of them was Waterworld. I said, well, shit, I got 14 fucking hours to fly. Let's watch the 3-hour Waterworld. And I was like, that wasn't as bad as I remembered or as bad as I thought. I'm not saying it's great, but it definitely wasn't as bad as I remembered.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think it would have been absolutely horrible without Anthony Hopkins? Or I mean, Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper.
I was going to say Dennis Hopper. Yeah, Dennis Hopper made the movie.
Dennis Hopper is one of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies of all time is Hoosiers. Love Gene Hackman.
Yes.
But Hoosiers is different without Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper, yeah.
He's Shooter, man. He'll always be Shooter, there's a lot of those, but see, Dennis Hopper in both of those movies wasn't the main character, but Dennis Hopper is so good at that weird supporting, like you walk away and say, damn, like Hopper was great in that,
right?
Even though he wasn't the main character, it's like, but Hopper was great in that. He steals the show a lot, and I think that's just what Dennis Hopper does. I don't think Dennis Hopper could be a leading man. I really don't.
No. But he can take a crappy movie and bring it up.
Though. Yeah, and there's no doubt, and he'll have some memorable parts. Dennis Hopper is great. Joaquin Phoenix. I'm one of the few probably out there. I'm a big Joaquin Phoenix. I think he's incredibly weird, incredibly different, but incredibly talented as well. He's a very talented actor. But he's a different dude. I wouldn't want to hang out with a guy, I don't think.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of Joaquin.
He's in the realm with Johnny Depp to me for like weird.
Yeah, he definitely is. I think he's a better actor than Johnny Depp.
Oh, no doubt. But both of them are in that weird category.
No doubt. And what's the other one? Oh crap. Played James Dean, and he's been in a ton of movies, but Franco.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, you know what I'm talking about, the Franco guy. Good actor, just a weirdo though. I mean, just a weirdo. So it's like, as much as I like him as an actor, it's like there's part of my mind that says
James Franco.
James Franco.
James Franco, I think. Yeah.
I think his brother's an actor also, but James is who I'm talking about. Yeah. Weird dude, good actor, really is. Warsaw says, have I ever seen series like Sons of Anarchy? Sons of Anarchy is one of my favorite shows of all time. If you haven't seen Mayans, which is a spinoff of Sons of Anarchy, go watch Mayans. It's still on, and it's awesome as well. But yeah, Sons of Anarchy is one of my favorite shows of all time for sure. Charles, okay, so Del Rey, another great one. People might not remember Charles Bronson. Bronson had a run there for 5 or 10 years where he might have been the biggest star in Hollywood. He and Steve McQueen kind of had their little runs, but people will never forget their runs. They both had those iconic 5-year, 10-year spans where McQueen was the biggest star in Hollywood. Charles Bronson was the biggest star in Hollywood at one point. So yeah, for sure. Charles Bronson was great. I don't think that he ever intended to have a 40, 50-year career. I think he just was that guy. I don't think he's a Tom Hanks where he's going to be around forever. Anthony Hopkins, I don't think he's going to have that. But Charles Bronson, there for a short amount of time, man, was as big as anybody in Hollywood for sure. No doubt about it. I'm going to catch up. Rod and Shelly are out there, the gun cleaners. He said, Heat, badass movie. Yeah, we're talking about Heat. I like The Saint over Heat. If we're talking about Val Kilmer stuff, Blazing Saddles. Yeah, I don't think they can make Blazing Saddles today. I really don't. I don't think that there would be any studio that would touch Blazing Saddles if it was today.
Probably not. Maybe
like not. Netflix or something like that, but I don't think any of the major ones would touch it.
Yeah, it would have to be straight to Netflix. I don't see any Mel Brooks movies being made I mean, I don't know how you could do it. You notice they don't even make, they started doing disaster movie and scary movie, and they did all of they don't hardly do spook movies anymore at all.
I think that they had its run. It had a great run, but I think a lot of it now is superhero stuff. I think that the Marvel DC universe is.
I would love to see
taking over.
I would love to see some scary movie style superhero stuff. That'd be hilarious.
That would be hilarious. Now, I'm one of these guys. I've got a bit of a man crush on Chris Hemsworth. He's one of the funniest human beings. And if you don't follow on Instagram, go follow Chris. He plays Thor. If you ever front of who Chris Hemsworth is, he's Thor. Go follow Chris Hemsworth on Instagram. He is one of the funniest dudes. He does not give a damn. He will do whatever it takes to laugh. But anyways, I saw an Instagram post from his. They just wrapped today. They wrapped shooting the new Thor movie. It's called Love and Thunder, and supposedly it's going to be the best Thor movie. It's hard to beat Ragnarok in my mind. Apparently this is going to be better than Ragnarok.
There's no way. There's no way it can be. I just don't see any way.
I'm just saying what he's saying.
As far as it being a better movie, storyline, that sort of thing.
Ragnarok was not a great movie.
But Ragnarok was entertaining, right? It was the most entertaining I think you could ever watch. Definitely the most entertaining of a Thor movie, for sure.
No
but if you've never watched a single weekend, whatever you want to call it, of Saturday Night Live, I highly recommend that anytime Hemsworth is on there, you watch that.
There's two people that I will not miss. It's Hemsworth and Peyton Manning. Both of them don't care. Right. And both of them have great timing. They're hilarious. They're not even trying to be. But Hemsworth is one of those guys where he will do whatever it takes for a laugh, whether it's in completely embarrassing himself. He's a great Instagram follow. He's hilarious, dude. Chris Hemsworth might be my favorite actor right now just because of his personality. Just like Emily Blunt. Emily Blunt's my favorite actress. And I think she's incredibly attractive, but not because she's beautiful. She's not like model attractive. I think she's very cute, but her personality, like she's one of those that doesn't give a damn either. She's going to have a good time and she's going to laugh and she's going to do all this stuff. And I think that's why I like her so much. But Chris Hemsworth, I'll watch any movie that comes out because it's going to be funny regardless. He's going to make it funny.
And I could put Chris Pratt into the similar category as Hemsworth. He's got
earlier in his career, not so much.
No.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because he's got a comic element, and a lot of times it's just facial expressions and stuff. But he's got a lot of the same similarities with acting style, I guess you could call it, or whatever that Hemsworth has.
Yeah. Let's see here. Go down here. Training Day. Training Day is a great movie. I am not a huge, not saying I don't like him. I'm not a huge Denzel fan because Denzel plays the same character no matter what movie it is. Does anyone notice that? Like it's the same guy,
I thought Denzel was kind of the same thing as Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner kind of, to me, is kind of the same thing. One-dimensional.
Yeah, I can see that.
I actually watched Ronin. Ronin. Whoa,
that was great. That was great.
Oh my God, what a movie. Liam Neeson, Gangs in New York. But there were so many great performances in Gangs in New York, though. What was his name?
DiCaprio.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of DiCaprio. I think he's probably one of the most underrated actors. He has won an Oscar and all that, but DiCaprio is I think he's a truly great actor that can play any kind of role. And he's not afraid to play those roles either. So, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just going to say, remember DiCaprio on like Growing Pains?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was his big first thing.
that was a long time ago.
Silver Spoons also? Was he on Silver Spoons or was that Jason Bateman?
I thought that was Jason Bateman.
It might have been Jason Bateman.
I don't recall. Yeah.
Bill Murray and Stripes. Bill Murray in pretty much anything, honestly. Let's just be real.
Comic legend. Yeah.
No doubt about
him in Zombieland was freaking hysterical playing himself.
Zombieland. See, I never saw the original Zombieland at first, and then my daughter, when the second one came out, she was home for the weekend. She's, we got to watch this. We watched it. I was laughing my ass off, so I had to go back and watch the first one because, oh my god, great! Yeah,
Zombieland is probably in my top 5 all time. As is, as I mentioned earlier, Robin Hood Men in Tights. But that's 2 of probably my top 5 movies of all time. Sure. Yeah. Zombieland. The first Zombieland.
I think my number one's got to be American Pie, followed by Zombieland.
Yeah.
Favorite movie of all time, or favorite comedy?
Favorite comedy. Favorite comedy. Number one's got to be American Pie.
Daniel Day-Lewis. That's who I was thinking of. He was last of the Mohicans and all, but Daniel Day-Lewis, that dude's a great actor too. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying. You see, the funniest thing for me for American Pie was the whole thing with the redhead when she's talking about band camp the entire time.
Oh yeah, when she took her flute up her.
The funny thing is that my wife was in band, right? And then the whole movie, you have no idea who this girl's name really is, and she goes, my name's Michelle," and I just looked at my wife because my wife's name is Michelle. It was in the movie theater. I looked at her, and she looked at me. She goes, "Don't you fucking say a word."
I love it. Yeah. Someone's talking about Sicario. I like the Sicario movies, both 1 and 2. Like them. One of those movies where I'll watch them, but I'm never going to be in a hurry to watch them again. I mean, I enjoy them, but they're not going to be like, hey, that's going to go on the rotation. Like the Sicario movies, but not ones that I would, okay, holy shit. So, all right, we ready to do this? It's been asked. I knew it was coming eventually. Eastwood, I guess we're talking Westerns maybe, but Eastwood. Let's see if I can find out where it was so I can put. Here we go. Eastwood or John Wayne?
Oh, that's not even close.
If you're talking Westerns, I think that it's Eastwood by a infinity. I like John Wayne.
Really?
I do. I like John Wayne's movies better. I think that Eastwood is a better Western actor. Does that make sense? I like Wayne's movies better, but I like Clint's characters better because John Wayne was one of those kind of like Denzel. All of those damn characters were the same. Now, they were great, but Eastwood I thought was a better character guy. But my favorite Western of all time is Rio Bravo. John Wayne, Dean Martin, Ricky Nelson. That's my favorite Western. My second favorite Western is Silverado. Then I think the Outlaw Josie Wales is probably third. But yeah, I would say Rio Bravo is my favorite Western movie. I love John Wayne movies, but I think Eastwood was a better character for Westerns. What say you guys?
Yeah, I would agree with you. I like John Wayne, but the problem is I need to be in the mood to watch a John Wayne movie. Whereas if I'm flipping through the channels and there's an Eastwood movie on, I'm on it. Yeah. The one thing I like about John Wayne movies and Clover like this is that's where my love of lever guns came from, is John Wayne movies. I always wanted a Winchester Model 94 just because of that. And yeah, that's where I got my love of lever guns, but I need to be in a John Wayne mood to watch his movies.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And Clover, bring it on and tell me. I mean, I get you're a John Wayne.
No, I get it. I mean, I'm not going to disagree much with what Rogue said. I mean, I would agree with that with John Wayne, at least now. Maybe not once upon a time, but now you really got to be in a mood. Whereas Clint Eastwood, but I'll tell you, my favorite Clint Eastwood, I think, is Space Cowboys.
Oh, now, okay, if y'all
it's probably ensemble cast, it's right?
Ensemble, yeah. I mean, you've got. Good Lord, what a phenomenal Tommy Lee Jones. You've got Gardner. What's his name?
Donald Sutherland, James
Sutherland.
James Garner. I mean,
and
Donald
the head of
Sutherland.
the head of the NASA. I can't remember that guy, but he's in a ton of movies. Can't remember his name.
Oh yeah, but you're talking about. I mean, you're talking about Donald Sutherland when he is on the roller coaster.
Oh, that is hysterical.
He's got those 3-inch thick glasses, and he's the engineer inspecting this. And while at the same time, he's hitting on the 18-year-old girl next to him. Oh my God, it's the greatest thing ever.
And eating a banana while he's doing it.
Yes. Oh my God, that whole movie is fun. I need to go watch that.
When he come up, when he was gonna recruit him or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, she said something about, she was there, that young gal, and he was like, "Is your dad, done," or something like that? And she laughed. He come down, and they kissed or whatever, I was like, oh man. But
I like him.
What's funny, he had to.
He goes in, he had to memorize the eye chart,
Yeah. He went last so he could memorize it. Hilarious. And then she made him those cool daddy sunglasses, right?
Yes, he did. Yeah. Yes, he did.
So the rest of the show, he walked around, but the older doctor lady had a crush on him.
You gotta figure though. I mean, I think Donald Sutherland probably is a big time freaking player. I mean, when he was
he made that as far as
the whole physical where they do the turn and cough and everybody's kind of bashful and he's just got this big grin on his face.
Yeah. James Garner was my favorite in that movie. I think he was, because you've seen Donald Sutherland do weird kind of crazy roles. James Garner, in my recollection, never was like the funny. He never showed the comedy side of who he is. He's always that serious like action guy or whatever. But he was hilarious. They all were great. Go watch Space Cowboys, please. It'll be well worth your time. Budget, what's up, homie? How long were you in the green room? I'm sorry if you were back there for a while.
It's okay. Clint Eastwood is far superior to John Wayne in every way imaginable. John Wayne was a one-dimensional actor. Every single character was interchangeable. You could have taken him from one movie, even The Conqueror, where he played Genghis freaking Khan, and put him in another movie, and it would have been the same. He had no depth whatsoever. That being said, in his element, he was great.
Unbelievable.
But as an actor, Eastwood blows him away. He has far more range. And The Outlaw Josie Wales is the single best Western ever, and Unforgiven is the second.
Unforgiven's a great one, sure.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Unforgiven's probably the greatest modern Western ever. If you want to call it modern, no, I didn't agree. Now I will say this. I like John Wayne more in the war movies than I did in the Westerns. I thought he was a phenomenal war movie guy,
I will give you that. And
says, but we can no longer be friends.
Was a good movie too. True Grit was a good movie too. Although, and I know Snobby probably is going to kill me for this one, I like the remake better.
Shut your mouth.
I liked the remake better.
Ugh. See, my dad's from Fort Smith, so True Grit's a big deal in Arkansas because it's about Fort Smith. But my dad was from Fort Smith, and so I knew all about True Grit. And I used to watch True Grit with him all the time when I was younger. Not saying the new one was bad, but in my eyes, it doesn't come close.
I hear you. It's a personal preference thing.
It is.
But I think the acting in the new one and even the script was way better, even though it was very close to not shot for shot remake, but it was it was really damn close. But I think they just did it just that much better. That's my opinion.
The cool thing about Eastwood is people our age, and we're all roughly around the same age, know Eastwood, and we probably grew up watching Clint with our parents. The younger generation probably never heard of the guy until Gran Torino. And Gran Torino is such a great movie, but how many people saw Gran Torino and then I had heard of Clint Eastwood, but I really didn't ever watch his movies. I saw that. How many people were introduced to the old Clint Eastwood movies because of Gran Torino?
That's sad.
Or
It
Million
is.
Dollar Baby.
$1 Million. See, I wasn't a big fan of that. I thought he was great. I just don't like the movie.
Well, you see, for me, that's where I saw Clint Eastwood as a different type of actor.
Sure.
He played a completely different role, and the ending in that movie was just so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
That when Gran Torino came out, I think I was prepared to watch Gran Torino and see Clint Eastwood as a completely different actor.
Yeah, sure. One of my favorite movies, and I wouldn't say of all time. It's just anytime I'm flipping the channels or whatever, and Gran Torino's on, I'm definitely stopping and watching whatever's left of it at that time.
Well, it makes you wonder with today's political environment, would they make Gran Torino again?
Nope.
No way in hell. Especially right now with all the Asian hate.
Exactly.
My wife's like, what the hell are they talking about? Asian hate? I'm like, don't worry about it. She's like, what the hell? I'm like, I don't know. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Right.
No, there's no doubt about it. Now, Snob says Gran Torino was a good movie, but by far not his best. I didn't say it was his best movie. I'm just saying I think that Gran Torino brought in the millennial people into who Clint Eastwood is.
Maybe, but I think $1 Million Baby probably brought more on men. I would have to agree with that.
So?
And I'm not a fan of that movie, but Hillary Skank was huge at that time. At that time when that movie came out with the young people, she was like it. So I would think that would have brought more people in.
Yeah, and that's probably why I don't like that, as I do not like Hillary Swank.
Yeah, I don't either.
JJ says John Wayne, Green Berets. I mean,
duh.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, John Wayne, I think John Wayne, to me, when I think John Wayne, I don't think Westerns, even though I love him, some of his Westerns, but when I hear John Wayne, I think war movies. When I hear Clint Eastwood, even though he's done so much more and so many different things, there are two characters of John Wayne's of Clint Eastwood that come to mind. It's Outlaw Josie Wales and Heartbreak Ridge. For me, those are the two that I automatically kind of mentally go to with Clint Eastwood. I think Clint Eastwood's a better actor, but we couldn't war stuff. Yeah, I think that's where John Wayne, I think, set himself apart from most people, especially in the 50s and 60s, where the war movies. I think that he was great at those. So I get a text, says, "Hey, gotta ask you guys are talking about Westerns. Ever seen the AMC series Hell on Wheels? Anson Mount plays the main protagonist, Colin Bohannon. I have never heard of Hell on Wheels, so I don't know if you guys have or not. I've never heard of it. So.
It's okay.
No.
It's okay.
I heard of it. I've never watched it.
Yeah. Dirty Harry. See, here's the thing. I think I'd appreciate him more now, obviously. Growing up, I was not a big Dirty Harry fan at all. Like, couldn't stand him, as a matter of fact. Like I said, I haven't watched them forever. But I did not like Dirty Harry movies. I think I probably like them a lot more now. But when I was growing up, I didn't care for them at all.
Yeah, those, the Death Wish movies.
Yeah.
Those they're hard to hold up.
Yeah. F&H bringing up First Blood.
Better book, but yeah.
Yeah. I think obviously you had Sylvester Stallone, and we all knew him as Rocky at that point. And which is not bad because I love Rocky. But when First Blood came out, I remember my dad let me see it. And I was young. I was probably like 7 or 8 when it came out. We went to go watch it, and I was like, oh wow, like Rocky's a badass, and all that. For me, I'm a big fan of First Blood. I like all the Rambo movies. Matter of fact, I watched all of them not too long ago because I hadn't seen them forever. But First Blood, man, great movie. What was the sheriff's name? Dennehy?
Brian Dennehy.
Why didn't he always an asshole sheriff? He's the asshole sheriff in Silverado also, but he plays a great asshole. I'll give him that. He plays a great asshole. And yes, I did see the last Rambo, and I actually kind of liked it. I'm not saying it was great, but I actually kind of liked it.
Just watch the last 10 minutes or so is all you really need to watch.
This is true. But it's pretty badass.
The last fight sequence or whatever. No, I'm just joking.
One thing and people are going to think I'm some kind of sick wacko here, but one thing I really, well, that's okay. One of the things I really liked about that movie is the fact that he failed.
Yeah, sure.
He failed.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give it spoilers out. Well, I guess I kind of did, but he failed to save the girl. You know, you expect that the hero's gonna save the girl. Yeah, she might be damaged. Yeah, she might be messed up, but he's gonna save her.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. He failed.
See, the one thing I like about Rambo is he's the only person I've ever seen that
like the character or that
the character in general.
Okay.
The one thing I like about Rambo is he's the only person to shoot an M60 from the hip and take up slack on the belt.
Absolutely.
Every time he shot, he had more bullets on the belt.
That was a helo mounted 60, if I'm not mistaken. Was it not? He took it off the helo?
I think so. But yeah, just because of all the editing, the belt just kept on changing sizes. But that's what I say. You always had to pull up slack.
Yeah, so for me, the quintessential Rambo moment for me, that if you say John Rambo, that's the first thing that goes to me, was he's in the mud. And all of a sudden, the eyes open. I was like, oh, that's badass. That was awesome.
You go that way. Predator.
See, you talk about Rambo, and we talk about gun movies. When I hear Rambo, I go to the archery.
Now, if you look at the last
pretty
Rambo,
bad.
He
was pretty bad to the bone with a bow, man.
He was.
And I don't remember which one it was in the sequence, right? But it was one of the later ones, like after the Rambo Part 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
It was, I don't even remember the storyline, but it was him and like some young kids, and they were on a boat, and I don't remember, but he had this collapsible type bow, this little like micro bow with that. It was,
I think it was the second to last one.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was a freaking awesome bow.
Well, then you really like the last one also, if you're, being an archery guy.
No, absolutely. No, and that's weird because most people think Rambo and their mind goes to what you're talking about with the M60 or the machine guns or the something. And I always think bow.
You know the weapon that I think of? Once again, we're all about the same age, roughly. Do y'all remember the Rambo knife craze when that movie came out?
I was about to bring that up.
To have a Rambo knife, and I probably had 7 of them.
I was about to bring that up. The one thing that's synonymous with Rambo is the knife, baby. Always.
Okay,
I saw an ad on Instagram for that just over the weekend. With Rambo and his knife.
Okay.
So Rambo's knife was awesome. I'll give you that.
Absolutely.
But the spoof copy in Hot Shots was better. That sucker had a chainsaw.
Yeah, sure did. Everything in Hot Shots was pretty damn good. And I'm not a big Charlie Sheen fan, but Hot Shots, and then there's a movie called Navy SEALs that was a pretty good one that he played a good character in as well. But yeah, the knife in Hot Shot was awesome. But yeah, the Rambo knife. I mean, if you're our age and you didn't own a Rambo knife, something was wrong with you.
Yeah,
you have no soul.
Totally. Yeah, totally.
Defense Dad says, how about Quigley Down Under?
Oh yeah.
Now, are you talking about the movie or the gun, or I mean,
it doesn't matter.
It's a good one. I don't put it in my top 5.
They have one of the Quigley guns at the NRA Museum in the Bass Pro in Springfield.
Yep,
just FYI.
Absolutely.
So Quigley Down Under, the final scene is one of the best, like, iconic lines, everything of a movie. It's awesome. and I don't know if we're spoiler alert, but he's got the big bad long range rifle, right? And Alan Rickman's character, they're talking and everything when he's giving him trouble, and he talks about a 6-shooter, right, a revolver, and he's like talking about Quigley, talking about Selleck, and he goes, "I've just never had a use for one. Just never had a use for one." And then the final scene, you know what I'm saying? It's they pace off. And he's like, "I said I didn't have a use for one. Didn't say I didn't know how to use it."
That's right.
See, I like in Quigley when Alec Rickman was they were talking about getting shot, and he's like, "How long from the guy going down to the report of the rifle?" And they're saying, how many seconds, and he's like doing the math, how far out that is. Mm-hmm. He's like, "Holy crap!"
Yep.
I got a text from 223 out there, and he sent a picture of his Rambo knife. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's see here. They're saying that the movie you were talking about, the Rambo movie, was the one that was in Burma. Is that the right one?
I don't
know.
I'd have to watch it again. I've only seen it a couple times, but I do remember the bow was awesome, and there was a 50 in it too. One of the dudes carried a 50 around.
Yep. Rose says, "What's up? What's up, homie?" Harrison Ford has to be in the top 10 of what, greatest actors? I don't know. And I love Harrison Ford. I love some of his characters. I would honestly, I don't know if I could put him in the top 10. I mean, if he is, he's around like 9 or 10. Movies he's been in, characters that he has, certain characters, yes, but overall, I don't know. I know he's made a shit ton of money.
I don't know. I kind of liked him in 6 Days, 7 Nights. He played the perfect little perv in that movie.
That was a pretty good. Yeah, it was him and Anne Hesh. That was pretty good. What is it? Air Force One.
Air Force One. He was good in. Sure.
That was Gary Oldman too. Air Force.
That was.
We talked about Oldman earlier.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's had some great roles, but there's nothing like, he's one of those people where I see Harrison Ford's movies coming out in 3 months. Oh man, I can't wait. Not knowing anything about it, I haven't seen a trailer. He's not that guy to me. I wouldn't go and say, I can't wait to see that movie. Whatever it is, I can't wait. I'm not that guy who's going to go watch a Harrison Ford movie and say, that's a great movie just because he's in it. No.
Oh, by the way,
had some forgettable roles as well.
I told you about the movie Nobody the other day. I told you that was on.
I haven't seen it yet.
That was on Redbox. So don't, for everybody out there, just because it popped into my head just now, and I don't want to forget it. 2 very enthusiastic thumbs up, a must see. There are no actors. If you were a big fan of How I Met Your Mother, the TV show, and Artillery Arthur from that TV show, he's the main character. When right?
You first told me that, I was like, it's gonna be a shitty movie.
There's
this is great.
There is no main actors, mainstream high dollar actors in that movie, and that movie is freaking phenomenal. If you're a gun person, action, type movie, definitely go see it. Or it's on Redbox now, so not go see it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Wheel and Wall Arm says John Travolta top 10. No. What do you guys think? For me, that's not even. That's a laughable question. He's had some great roles. To me, his best role ever is in Pulp Fiction.
Way.
Me.
He's
for sure.
He's sort of one-dimensional for me too.
Well, I think one of the best movies was actually in Face Off because he showed how bad of an actor Nicolas Cage really was.
Nicolas Cage is a terrible actor.
Yeah, I know.
Although I love some of Nicolas Cage's movies, he really is
a terrible actor.
Yeah.
But that's the whole thing with if John Travolta could upstage Nicolas Cage, how bad Nicolas Cage really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my favorite Travolta movie, aside from Pulp Fiction, is probably Broken Arrow. He and Christian Slater. I thought he did a really good job in that movie.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah. Michael. What was Michael? John Travolta.
He was an angel.
He was an angel. Yeah, he was.
I forgot.
He actually did well in that movie.
He did. He did a good job with that.
I forgot about that. That's what I'm saying though. I forgot. Yeah, that was a good movie for sure. Yep. Bruce Willis. What do you think about Bruce Willis?
Great actor.
Top 10 kind of an actor?
I don't know if he's top
so.
10, but
Oh,
He's awful damn close if he is.
he's close.
yeah, it's got to be close.
He has
It's
a
gotta
good
be
range.
He does.
Yeah.
No.
Killer,
he's-
Sixth Sense, man, great
Sixth
job.
Sense.
Awesome
Sixth
movie,
Sense,
man.
you should know within the first literally 5 minutes of Sixth Sense what's going on.
Yeah.
Right. And then
you
it's
don't- you
like,
have no idea.
and you do not see it until it's over, and you should absolutely see that, right? You kick
No doubt.
yourself if you watched it in the theater, or if if you watched it at home and you didn't know, you literally kick yourself once it's over. And for him to pull that off,
I mean, they told you. They told you right in the movie.
yeah,
And
and you just didn't see it.
It's funny because my wife and I were just talking about that last night. We were watching a show with Kate Winslet that she did for Hulu called Mayor of Easttown. She did an amazing job in that, and it was that they told you the story in the first episode of that, and you completely missed it till the end.
Yeah.
Because she took the direction off, or took the focus off of it, right?
Yeah.
Oh well, no, they didn't. They didn't tell the actors what the ending of the show was until the end.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is her acting pulled every bit of focus off of what you should have known.
Yeah, well, it's that plus the storyline had a couple of twists in it, and you're following that, and you're not paying attention to what they told you in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then plus she did an awesome job with the accent. She lost her British accent in it to play, the southeastern Pennsylvania accent, which she totally nailed. And you were just like, it was just that we watched the ending. Even the last episode, you don't know until like the last 10 minutes of the episode. And I was like, holy shit.
Right. What about, I'm trying to think of a couple other ones that would be great ones to throw in there. Top 10 actors. Someone brought up Schwarzenegger. Don't even bring up Schwarzenegger. I mean,
yeah.
Entertaining.
Yeah. Okay. But
Bruce Willis was good. I'll give him that.
What about
Kirk Douglas? I like Michael Douglas better than Kirk Douglas, honestly.
Yeah.
I think Michael Douglas is a better actor. Me personally.
Yeah. I was just curious what everybody thought about that, because
Sean Connery is one of my 10 favorite snub, just because he'll always be James Bond.
Yeah.
Goldfinger, one of the greatest movies ever made. I think Sean Connery is up there, although he is kind of, even though, I mean, he's the only guy that can pull off Humphrey Red October with a Scottish accent.
So
pull that off.
So we mentioned him in passing earlier when you talk about what about Morgan Freeman?
See, he's one of my top 10. I love Morgan Freeman, but my I would say I would find it hard to find another one. My favorite all-time movie very well could be Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
Very well could be.
Oh man. Dang it.
He was great at Lean On Me back in the day. And
that played in Shawshank. What am I dang it, Dufresne. What was his
Tim Robbins?
Tim Robbins. Tim Robbins. Yeah. Tim Robbins, Bull Durham. I mean, you're talking quite a few.
He was in Gun. People don't realize that. Tim Robbins
he was Merlin.
Average co-pilot in the last scene.
At the end. Yeah, he was Merlin.
Yeah.
Yep. We talked about Anthony. I'm mistaken Anthony Hopkins earlier, but Anthony Hopkins has got to be up there.
Anthony Hopkins, to me, will always be Hannibal Lecter, no matter what he does. I mean, that might want to be the greatest roles. Like I would love, like, if my legacy in the world, if I'm in that realm, if I'm a screenwriter or writing movies and all of that, and my legacy is I'm the one who wrote the character Hannibal Lecter, like that might be that's like legendary. I mean, how do you write that character? I mean, because it hadn't been done before. Like no one had talked about that kind of a character before. Man, it was just great movie. Great movie.
Another one we haven't talked about. Been in a lot of different stuff. Played a lot of different roles. Is Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges. I like younger Jeff Bridges than older Jeff Bridges.
I think
that's
so.
Just me.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jeff Bridges is great.
I think the older he has gotten, the better he does in villain roles, at bad guy roles, though, too.
I could see that. Yeah. What about Kurt Russell? Kurt Russell's been in some huge movies over the years.
Oh, I can't even. Yeah, man.
You know,
I'm going to tell you what.
That's what you wouldn't think of, but he's a great. He's a great ones. Go ahead.
Yeah.
One movie that you wouldn't think of Kurt Russell doing some damn fine acting in is Soldier. If you've ever seen it, have any of you guys seen it?
I don't know if I've seen it.
I know what you're talking about. He did a good job in that.
Barely has any dialogue in the movie, but his physical acting tells the story of that guy's emotional trauma that he suffered all through his life. If you've never seen Soldier, do yourself a favor and watch it. It is outstanding.
I probably need to. I don't remember ever. That doesn't ring a bell at all. So I need to go.
So
it was a good one.
So along the lines that we were talking about, Bruce Willis talking about, how you sit through a movie and you don't realize. An actor that I don't think we brought up yet, Tom Hanks. Well, I'm going to bring up
on everyone's top 5.
And I'm going to bring up Castaway, because that's one of those movies you sit through that entire movie, and until he gets rescued, you do not realize that there's like zero dialogue the whole movie.
He has nobody to feed off of.
Like nobody, but I mean, you've sat through 2 hours of no dialogue.
Volleyball.
Yeah. That's it. Every now and then, right? Every now and then. And that's it. And you're like, whoa, what just happened?
No. And the great thing about Tom Hanks is Tom Hanks can play whatever kind of character you want. Yeah. Because he's not action. Did you ever watch Saving Private Ryan? He's pretty good in action at that point too, He's not going to be the Bruce Willis action guy, but I mean, I didn't mention Tom Hanks because I just assumed that Tom Hanks is in a top 5 greatest actors of all time. And I don't care who you are. I think that if you're just being realistic, he's going to make everyone's list of all time. He's just that good. He really is. He's that good.
I had to bring him up.
How about Alan Rickman?
Oh, Alan Rickman's up there.
Alan Rickman is, I think that people our age remember Alan Rickman for different things. My daughter loves Alan Rickman for playing in Harry Potter. And I think that the millennials know him for Harry Potter and all of that. But we all remember my first recollection of him was Hans Gruber. And I don't know if he was before. Yeah, but he was Hans Gruber until Harry Potter. He would always be Hans Gruber. Yeah, for sure. Love Alan, but he's a phenomenal actor. And I think he's one of the most beloved actors. I remember when he died, like all of Hollywood, like there were a lot of sad people in Hollywood. So he must have been loved, Yeah,
it's like Hollywood just came to a standstill when he died.
Yeah. Jackie Gleason is a top 10 comedic actor for sure. Hands down.
I loved him in The Toy.
Yep.
He was great in everything that he did. Okay, so The Honeymooners. There is no way in hell The Honeymooners is being made today. Archie Bunker will never be made today. Yeah, it's man, what some great stuff back in the day. We were lucky when we grew up in our time was the political correctness didn't exist.
Oh yeah, out there, Defense Dad said Tom Hanks was a perfect choice for the Da Vinci Code movies.
No doubt,
yeah, phenomenal. Oh my God, the casting in those movies, period, even beyond Tom Hanks. Phenomenal.
You have Ewan McGregor that is the lovable bad guy. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen what was it, the second one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I honestly, there are movies of Tom Hanks that I didn't necessarily like. But I don't think he's ever put a bad performance
No.
I don't remember him having a bad performance. There are movies that said, "Share for the movie," but I thought he always did a good performance. I'm not saying that he didn't. I just can't think of anything off the top of my head where it's like, man, Tom Hanks was terrible on that. You know, people don't realize that he started out a comedic actor. He was in Bosom Buddies.
Bosom Buddies.
Yeah. Dude, we talked about SNL, right? Sure. Tom Hanks is awesome on SNL. That's good ones to watch.
The greatest single skit
of all time.
Skit
all
of
time.
Time is Doug's Jeopardy.
Black Jeopardy.
Black Jeopardy is literally the single greatest skit ever on SNL. If you haven't,
YouTube it. You can thank me later.
You're
Black
welcome.
Jeopardy with Doug. Yeah.
I remember when you two showed me that.
My wife, she's a sturdy gal. She's a sturdy gal.
Yeah, the like, nice knowing you, Doug.
Skinny women can do this for you. Not a damn thing.
You know Cecil? You know Cecil?
Yeah.
Everybody's got Cecil.
Everybody's got a Cecil.
One of the greatest ones. Now, Will Willard says Archie Bunker would be perfect for today. It would be perfect for today, but there ain't no way in hell it's being made. No way in hell Archie Bunker's being made.
They sort of get by with stuff like that nowadays, though, if you think about it, with animated, right? Because like they get by with a lot with Family Guy and South Park.
They do. Yeah, I would agree with that to a certain extent.
But live action stuff, no, they would
way.
be. No. Yeah, no.
Now Snob says Walker Texas Ranger. Okay, shoot me. I'm not. I never have gotten into Walker Texas
Don't like
Ranger.
it.
I'm not a huge Chuck Norris fan. I'm just not.
I really liked what's his name? Clarence or whatever. What was the black dude?
I don't know. I can count on one hand how many episodes of Walker Texas Rangers I've ever watched.
That's that actor's name. Hold on.
I don't know.
Yeah, black dude in there. I can't remember.
Now I'll say Norris has the greatest memes of all time, but I'm just not a big fan of Walker Texas Ranger.
Yeah, Clarence Gilliard. Yeah, it was the actor's name. Yeah,
I don't know who that is.
Was like his partner in Walker Texas Ranger. He did pretty good.
Oh, so now I was saying go watch Walker Texas Ranger and see how bad Norris is. Yeah, Chuck Norris is a terrible actor, but he was never supposed to be an actor. He was supposed to. I mean, he was Bruce Lee's sparring partner. That's just the way it was, you know.
So the second, I guess it was Expendables, right? So we go into the first one, amazing. I mean, if you're an action movie, you know, you grew up with all those guys. Those are just fun movies, right? Storyline, acting, it's like who freaking cares? They're going to shoot and blow stuff up, and that's why you're there, right? And so all the hype around, Chuck Norris was going to be in I guess it was the second one, right? And don't get me wrong, it was cool. But if you really want to see how horrible of an actor he is, that's the only scene ever you have to watch because, bless his heart, it was horrible. It was cool when he walks out of the smoke and, and all that. You're like, oh, this is cool. And then he starts talking and you're like, oh, my God, you're killing me.
Okay, so A&A wants to, how old we are? I'm 46. So, I mean.
I just turned 49.
There you go.
I just turned 49.
Clover's a baby then.
I'm 38.
Ooh, hunky.
That's too personal.
Miami Vice. Miami Vice was good. Miami Vice to me.
The TV show?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was all right. I can't remember Miami Vice because it was like everyone loved Don Johnson and all that, but it was never one of those TV shows that I gotta, turn the VCR on if we're not going to be home for Miami Vice. It was never one of those for me.
It was no Baywatch.
Run, Yasmin, run.
Now, hey, I got no problem with running. No doubt.
There's your Friends reference, though.
And see, Snob wasn't here, but we already brought up Costner. Costner, yeah. Mel Gibson, as weird as he ended up being, Mel Gibson, man, he had a 20-year run where he was unbelievable.
So you hear Mel Gibson, my mind goes to Riggs every single time.
Every time, absolutely. Lethal Weapon.
No way, Mad Max.
Lethal Weapon.
Does it? It just for me,
Mad
for me, it goes to Riggs.
For me, it's Riggs and Braveheart.
The crazy
For
eyes.
me, it's Mad Max. Like
the only reason
the original Mad Max movie, not the Road Warrior, not Beyond Thunderdome.
I hear you.
Mad Max.
Yeah,
I hear you. For me, Mel Gibson will always have a special place in my heart because I was overseas, and I think I've told the story before. If not, I've told Clover the story before. The greatest movie theater experience I've ever had is if you can remember a bunch of guys that have been on deployment and they finally get home, and overseas in Japan, we've been on a ship, we've been places, we've done certain things. We finally get home and they open up the theater for us, and there's a new movie called Braveheart. Imagine a room of 300 Marines that have been doing whatever we've been doing for the last 6 months to come home, and they opened up the theater for us and showed us Braveheart. It was single-handedly the greatest movie experience. Put it this way, that theater was probably closed for a month for repairs. I mean, you just imagine we destroyed that theater.
I remember Braveheart when it came out being, I don't want to say overly graphic for the time, but astonishingly maybe graphic for the time. Right? Like the violence, like when they were cutting limbs off and stuff, like the cinematography for doing it, right? I mean, you got the fake blood and all the weird, and you got old movies where they'll get cut with a sword and they're not even bleeding and they fall over. But Braveheart was like they were lopping off limbs and heads, and it was just crazy. You know, the violence
worse than RoboCop.
Yes,
that was worse than RoboCop.
Yeah, they were using axes and they were using swords
in scale. Yeah,
for sure. All right, so one of my favorite series of all time is Lethal Weapon. What's your favorite Lethal Weapon movie?
The first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely the first.
I love them all.
Gotta go with the first.
I remember, for me, I don't know if this is true or not for everyone or not, but for me, the first time I ever remember seeing Joe Pesci was in a Lethal Weapon movie. I don't know if he was before that, but I remember Leo Getz, man. Leo Getz. Who was in The Patriot? That was Mel Gibson. He was great in that one as well. Mel Gibson had a 20, 30-year span where he was really, and he would still be doing good movies. He can't keep his mouth shut or quit drinking a little bit.
Right.
But no, man, Mel Gibson put some great movies out there for sure. Someone was saying that Don Johnson was better in Nash Bridges. I tend to agree. I like Nash Bridges better than Miami Vice, but I also like the way that Nash Bridges with Don Johnson and Cheech Marin kind of worked off each other. I'm a big Cheech Marin fan, so yeah, I agree that those were great. How many of you are nerdy enough to admit you've seen all the Highlander movies? Never seen one of them, actually. Never seen a Highlander movie.
I have.
I may. I want to admit.
I actually just had my son watch the first one day before yesterday because they're remaking Highlander with Henry Cavill playing McLeod.
Oh, really?
I'm a big Cavill fan.
So I'm not a fan. My wife has watched them, but it's called The Witcher on Netflix. And he's real Highlander-ish. He's real Highlander looking in that. And I never could get into it, but as far as the looks of his character, it's super freaking cool. So that may be neat.
When you say Highlander-ish, I don't even know what that means. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
I just need to go watch Highlander.
Like I don't know, like medieval looking type garb. Yeah.
I guess I need to go watch.
So
do you even know what the premise behind Highlander is?
Another.
No, I've never. No, I mean I've heard of the movie, but I don't know anything about it. I have no idea what it's about.
All right. The premise is that there are immortal people walking around the earth, and they fight each other. And when they kill each other, because the only way they can be killed is to get their head lopped up. And when they kill each other,
okay.
When they kill each other, the one that did the killing absorbs the one that got killed's power. And they have to do this until there's only one. Hence the tagline, there can be only one. Well, it takes place in 1986, I think, is when it was released. So bear that in mind with the special effects and whatnot.
Sure.
But
sure.
it kind of flashes back and forth between now and certain events throughout his life and history. It's really cool. It's not one of the greatest cinematic masterpieces ever, but it has a certain charm to it. Sure. I like it. I've always liked it. Queen did the entire soundtrack, so that's a plus.
Well, that's a plus, sure.
Yeah.
Give it a watch. It's got Sean Connery in it.
I think my wife has watched it.
And Clancy Brown.
Huh. Interesting.
So, anybody remember the American Ninja movies?
Oh God, I've repressed those.
American Ninja. Oh my God, the name sounds familiar, but I can't bring it up as what it is.
Yeah, there was like 10 of them, I swear, or something. I don't even know, but
yeah, I remember.
They got very bad very quick. They never was great to start with, but they got bad very quick. But they made so many of them.
Really bad early. Oh, I remember those. Yeah. I never watched any of them, but I remember. Yeah, I remember the actor that was in a couple of them. Yeah, no, I never watched those. Beretta is life. I mean, sure.
I made a comment there. I go, what about Kate Beckinsale in Underworld?
Well, that's what.
That's
what I just put in the side chat a while ago.
I saw all that, and I was being sexist. Wasn't going to acknowledge it.
Yeah, it's like we're being super sexist because there's all kinds of awesome chicks in action flicks nowadays.
Kate Beckinsale,
and we ain't mentioned none of them.
Awesome.
Mila, what's her name? And
Mila Djokovic, whatever. Yeah.
Oh, Resident Evil girl, what I call her.
Yeah.
I would even say in at least the first one, I would say Angelina Jolie in the first Lord Tomb Raider movie. She was great in that. Have y'all seen Atomic Blonde? Have y'all ever seen Atomic Blonde? What a great movie. Kill Bill.
Yeah. Michelle Rodriguez is one and a lot of movies. And she's like undercard, right? It's like she's never the main star, but she's bad in the bone and everything she plays.
Yep. The first time I remember seeing Michelle Rodriguez was in the movie SWAT. Mm-hmm. And she had like a guy's name, so they went to go interview her, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I had the wrong person. Who are you looking for?" And whatever. It was like, "That's me," and he was like, "She ends up being a badass." But yeah, obviously Fast and Furious, but yeah, she's been great. Uma Thurman played in some great action roles. The Kill Bill stuff. Who was it? Charlize Theron that was in Knives Out. You guys see Knives Out? What a great movie that was. Atomic Blonde was great. That was a crazy good action. As far as straight up legit action movie, Atomic Blonde was pretty damn good. Halle Berry in the latest John Wick movie. Halle Berry was great, but for me, the best part of that movie were her shepherds. I don't know if they're shepherds or Malinois, but the dogs. The dogs were the greatest part of that action scene in that movie. Were the dogs for sure. But yeah, Halle Berry was great in that, no doubt. She trained her ass off for that too, I heard.
Yep.
It looked like she kept it to me.
What's her name that played Sarah Connor in T2?
Linda Carter.
Linda
Carter.
No, Linda Carter's Wonder Woman.
That's a different. Wonder Woman. Yeah, sorry.
Sigourney Weaver. Oh my God.
I'll take 1977.
Sigourney Weaver.
Linda Hamilton played it in T2.
Yeah.
Linda Hamilton.
I'll take 1978 Linda Carter. I'm not going to turn that down.
Or Sigourney Weaver, man, the first Alien movie.
Oh man, yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, they're saying Kate Beckinsale in tight leather. Yeah. There's been a lot of and you're right. We were being sexist. You're right.
There's just not as many when you're talking action, right?
Yeah. So let me ask you guys this. This is going to be just pick one of the two, okay? Jet Li, Jackie Chan.
Oh, Jet Li.
Yeah, Jet Li.
Jet Li.
Even though he's a dedicated communist, Jackie Chan.
I thought I'd probably be the only one to pick Jet Li.
If you're talking action movie, now if you're talking like kung fu or karate
no.
style,
I'm not even talking in real life.
If you're talking straight up action,
just straight up badass.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen the remake of Mulan? By the way,
no.
No.
Live action, no.
Go watch Mulan. Go watch it. Jackie Chan, not Jackie Chan. Jet Li is in that. Plays the Emperor.
Oh, nice.
Good movie. Good movie. You said you refused to see Mulan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They took all the musical numbers out of it. That was the part of it, as stupid as it sounds. The songs and whatnot in the animated version made it. It was great. They took all that stuff out of there. They went in favor of wokeism and took out the whole "I'll make a man out of you" song and all this shit. You know what? No, thank you.
So
this is an action movie. This isn't a Disney. This is an action movie.
Is there any indication in the movie? I don't want to give nothing away. Nobody give anything away because I haven't seen it. Is there any indication that she's a lesbian?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
Matter of fact, it's the opposite.
So there's a it's called Once Upon a Time. It's a television show that's based in like fairy tale land type stuff.
Yeah, that bring all the different characters in.
And don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't know. I'm not embarrassed to admit it. I really liked that series. But yeah, Mulan was gay in that. Mulan had a thing for Sleeping Beauty in that.
I remember
TV
that
show. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now this I could go with. I could go with this. Pete out there says Jet Li for his skills, Jackie Chan for entertainment. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Because I think that Jackie Chan is funny. He is more entertaining. I think Jet Li wants to talk. He just wants to be ass. He just wants to be
Here's a question I have about Jet Li. Does he do all his own stunts? Every single one? Because Jackie Chan does.
He used to. Jackie Chan used to.
Well, I don't know if he still does. Correct. He used to.
Yeah.
I know there was one movie, I think it was Rumble in the Bronx. He broke his damn leg and kept going.
Oh yeah, no. He's
he has
that
man. Jackie Chan's a little badass.
He had to keep on going, or else he'd face a firing squad when he got back home.
Fair enough.
Well, that's true.
Fair enough. Obviously, I think the consensus is Bruce Lee, the greatest martial art actor ever. Is that fair?
Man, the demographics of movies have changed so much.
Because I'm getting ready to bring up.
So it's like I don't know. I don't know if I could go that far anymore.
If you're talking kung fu theater, yes.
If we're gonna go OG, I mean, you could still respect and give props and whatever, but
sure,
things change and times change, and it's like it's hard to, hard to say the greatest all time when things have changed like they have.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up movies or not, I guess. I don't know. We don't have to bring up movies necessarily. But like, Enter the Dragon and all that changed. I think it changed. It opened up the genre probably to the mainstream. And so I have a problem saying that Bruce Lee's the greatest martial art actor, but without Bruce Lee bringing martial art movies to the mainstream, none of those others happen probably. I think that's just, I don't know what you guys think about that, but so I would say just because of what he did and how he brought it, I would say that Bruce Lee's got to be like the number one martial artist, just for simply he created a genre and made it something that people would do without having that. So I don't know. I mean, but I like Bruce Lee, so that also probably helps. What the hell?
See Peter in the
Well, I had to pop up. I was going through the top. What the hell? Martial art movies, and I guess that little pop up come up. But yeah. Oh God, what's his name? What's another one? Who's another one? Golly, back in the 70s was great. Oh my God, what's his name? Carradine, David Carradine. I like some of the old David Carradine stuff, but I think he kind of gets forgotten when we're talking about martial arts stuff. But I thought Carradine was a good one.
David Carradine was funny in 2.5 Men. In the one episode he was there.
I don't think I've ever seen that episode.
Oh man, it's hilarious because he kind of, Alan's second wife. Well, what was her name? The bubble-headed girl.
Sure. Yeah.
He played her father, and he kind of had the same type of brain.
Okay. It was so hilarious. I'll get specific episodes on. I'm going way off the rails here, but Friends. I love Friends. In my opinion, the greatest Friends episode ever is when Bruce Willis was on and he was dating Rachel. And the time that Ross had to break into their lake house or whatever, Bruce Willis was hilarious in that episode of Friends. I don't know why I thought of that all of a sudden, but yeah, Bruce Willis in that one episode of Friends was unbelievably fun.
When he's dancing and singing, getting ready for the date.
It was their cabin, not the lake house, because remember there was bears. Remember?
Oh, my bad. Yeah. No, I hear you. Is it a cabin the same thing as a lake house?
No, because it was like up in the mountains or whatever.
Okay, well, if a cabin's by the lake, it could still be a lake house.
Well, that's true. It could still be up in the mountains by a lake. I guess it could be. I guess you're right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, that's probably my favorite individual episode of Friends because he was great in that, and the way he and Ross. Oh man, it was just.
Well, he had several episodes. 2 or 3 episodes that he
did. That one particular one was the best one ever.
Yeah.
I love that movie. That episode, great one. Good Lord. We haven't even talked guns one bit, but you know what?
Yeah, sure we have. We've talked
some. We have a little bit. But yeah. Flashback. We all have them. What? Brain fart flashback. Okay. Have you seen IP Man? He was Bruce Lee's teacher. IP Man. I want to say it was that like on Amazon or Netflix or something? I watched a thing not too long ago. I thought it was about that. Man, whatever. Yeah. Was that like on Netflix or Amazon or something? Because I want to say I did watch that. It was like his instructor, right? Like he taught that style of kung fu, right? I want to say that I watched that. Yes, I did. I'm just now. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I did. Brain fart. No, Lake House brings us to a crappy Keanu Reeves movie. The Lake House. Okay, so Lake House out in the cabin in the woods. Have any of you guys seen the Strangers horror movie? If you have a house out in the woods, that's gonna make you think about selling that damn thing. Strangers is a great. I think they got Strangers 2 coming out. Or it came out last year or something, but that's a great movie. The Strangers, good movie. Sorry. Let's see here. Jeet Kune Do. So he taught Bruce when he was a young punk kid. Yeah. Now people tend to forget. So Bruce was from Hong Kong. People tend to forget that back then Hong Kong was not China. It was part of the British Empire. And so he was not Chinese technically. He was from Hong Kong, which made him a British citizen. people that are millennials just know China, Hong Kong is part of China, but it was until what, 20 years ago, maybe something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 1999 is when it reverted to being part of China.
Yeah. Jay Monty out there, he says, "Sup, y'all? A good gun movie was Juice, starring Tupac. The power of just holding a gun was shown in interesting ways." I don't remember Juice. And I was a huge Tupac fan, but I don't remember the movie Juice. I'll Google that and see if I recognize Juice. Juice. I don't remember Juice. I guess I don't remember it. I don't know. Sorry. Any of y'all saw Juice or remember Juice with Tupac in it back in the day? I don't remember that one.
Never saw it.
Yeah, I don't know. What about The Man of Tai Chi? Pretty decent movie, surprisingly. I haven't seen that one. I used to study Tai Chi back in the day, a long time ago. Tai Chi's great if you want to get relaxed and all of that. Tai Chi's wonderful. It was yoga before yoga, in my opinion. It's a martial art, but it's not a martial art in the sense of kicking ass. It's more of a mindset of Tai Chi. It's really pretty.
Like kata.
Yeah, if you see someone practicing Tai Chi, it's actually is. So, if you guys ever seen The Last Airbender, I don't know if you guys. I like The Last Airbender movie, but a lot of those movements with the different elements were based off of Tai Chi and different things. But yeah, Tai Chi's kind of cool. It's pretty cool. Ip Man was played by Donnie Yen. Yeah, he was phenomenal in that. He was great in that. So yeah, I don't know who the actor was, but he was. I guess his name is that Donnie. But yeah, it was great. It takes Tai Chi and makes it into a badass martial art. Oh, interesting. And what's that called again? The Man of Tai Chi? I have to go watch that. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. All right. We've been going an hour and 45 minutes. I think anything else we want to touch on? Was I politically incorrect, Clover? Do you want to bring me back and mention anyone else in a group of people that I have upset throughout the lives?
I think you've got all the demographics covered at this point.
Right.
I think you're good.
All right.
So I'm just trying. I'm kind of act as a producer over here. I'm just trying to make sure that all your bases are covered. That's all.
So what I want to do before we get out of here, I want to go through go through the room. I'm going to start with you, Rogue. And I'm not going to say that what's your favorite gun movie, but what's your favorite movie that guns are a prevalent part of the storyline? Make sense?
I would have to say probably the most influential of my childhood would have been RoboCop, because that's where I got my love of the Barrett. It's the first time I ever saw a Barrett, and ever since that movie, I have always wanted a Barrett.
When are you going to make that happen?
Oh, I got an NFW from the wife a long time ago. But to tease me, and I'll show you this, she gave this to me for Christmas one year.
One single round?
What? No, it's solid silver.
Oh,
it's a 50 solid silver. So she gave me that, and she said that was the closest thing I'm going to get to a 50. But yeah, no, it's
I think you'll be 50 next year, right?
What's that?
You'll be 50 next year, right?
I will be.
I think you need to treat yourself to a 50 for your 50th. Just saying. I
know. And one of the thing is the problem I have with doing that is I have a problem with a rifle, and that I would load up, and every time I squeeze the trigger, I would go $5. $5.
Actually, $10 right now.
You'd be saying more than that now.
Yeah.
But no, I mean that's my dream. That's what. Well, I have several dream rifles, but that's like my ultimate dream rifle. If and what's sad is when I had an FFL, it would have been a lot cheaper too.
How about that? Yep. Clover, what's your favorite movie that guns were a prevalent part of the story, of the backstory, or all that? Favorite gun movie? He might have gone and get himself a sandwich.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, that's tough, man.
I know. I only ask the tough questions. No softball.
I go with. Honestly, I mean, this is, I don't know. This almost seems like it's
It
cheating.
can be science fiction and all that. I mean,
no, I mean, it's not. And it almost seems like it's cheating. But again, I mean, the Expendables movie, they're just, I mean, if you're into action and guns and stuff, you don't got to think. There's not really a storyline. Let's be honest. It's just, again, shooting and blowing stuff up. But there's tons of firearms in that, right? Stallone's got a single action and Statham's throwing knives. I mean, we didn't talk about knives at all, but you know what I mean?
I think Jason Statham is a very underrated, by the way.
And we didn't mention Jason Statham at all in any of our stuff. But yeah, you've got Jet Li. I mean, think about all that. You've got all the actors there. You've got all the guns and all the different weapons and different. I mean, Terry Crews is in that. All the different things that it's just fun. If you want to relax, if you like guns and weapons in general and military style stuff and, action actors and things like that. Heck, Stone Cold Steve Austin is in it.
Yeah.
So it's even got the wrestling element and it's just, so yeah, I probably go Expendables. And at the time, if you're talking about the first one, that was kind of a big deal when that come out to have all of the Dolph Lundgren, to have all of those guys
for people our age that grew up with all those dudes
in one film. So that's probably my pick. Yeah,
not a bad one at all. Mike, what about you?
Now, are we talking ever, or are we talking when I was a kid, or what?
If you could pick one gun movie to watch, what would it be? Anytime.
Outlaw Josie Wales. So, which is surprising considering I own absolutely zero black powder firearms.
Sure.
I really need to fix that. I need to get me some black powder revolvers, dang it.
Yeah. Speaking of not owning the firearm, one of the greatest lines in a Western ever is Danny Glover in Silverado. And he says, have you ever seen what a man can do that knows how to use a Henry? He says, what is that, you? And he goes, no. And his dad comes around the corner. He's got this old Henry Golden boy. He's like, my dad. And he's like, have you ever seen what a man can do with a Henry lever and a Henry rifle that knows what he's doing with it? And that was a great line. Yeah, great. I would have to say for me, just because it's just fucking unbelievable, I gotta go with John Wick. I mean, it's hard to, John Wick for me. So I want to ask a couple more questions. Go through the room. We'll start with budget here on this one. Red Dawn, original or reboot?
Original all the way. Although I don't hate the reboot.
I'm the same way. Yep, I'm the same way. A lot of people hate the new one. I like the new one. I think the new one's more entertaining. But I like the original better. Clover, what about you?
The original Red Dawn was number 2 on my list of all-time gun movies that were an influence on me.
Yeah, sure.
It's number 2. But it was really damn close, though.
Yeah. Clover, what about you?
Man, there's a lot of guns in Red Dawn. So original, hate the remake.
So why do you hate? What makes you hate the remake?
The selections of actors was,
you don't like Hemsworth?
Absolutely ridiculous. No, I mean we covered that. Josh, I mean I like Hemsworth, but the whole Josh and Drake kid or whatever.
No,
there was no support around Hemsworth, and there was no real room for Hemsworth to do what he does best, really, which is be funny. So right. No, and the only part of the new one I enjoyed, because my wife, like most women, is a big Hemsworth fan and loves Thor and all this other stuff, is when he gets shot in the head. That's my wife's reaction when that happened in the movie was my favorite part of the movie of the new one. So no, I go the old one.
That's fair. Road, what about you?
Old one all the way. New one, in a pinch.
Sure. So I'm going to go with this one. Start with Clover on this one. When you're watching a movie that guns are prevalent, okay, they're just, it's a gun movie, okay. What are you watching for you? Are you watching to see what kinds of guns are there? Are you watching how their gun handling skills are? I mean, what are you paying attention to all this stuff? Or are you just enjoying a movie for what it is?
Nope, I'm paying attention to it.
Okay, are you paying more attention to like what guns are there or how they're handling are?
I want to say that if it's got a really good story and it's really good character development, really good acting, that sort of thing, that I don't. But that would be a lie. I do. I mean, I key in, and you have to key in on what the firearms are in a way to key in on the handling.
Because they're going
right?
to handle certain things differently. Absolutely.
Because a revolver doesn't sound like a pump shotgun when you cock it, and just weird things like that. Or we've talked about it before where somebody pulls a revolver on somebody and with a camera angle, you can see down, then the chambers are completely empty. And you're like, at least put some dummies in there, make it, because so I'm one of those that yells at the TV with gunplay for sure.
Ro, what about you? When you're watching gun movies, are you watching more what type of guns or handling or both?
Kind of both, but what really stands out to me is hearing a safety click off on a Glock. Things like that. You always hear someone take a safety off. I'm like, but it's a Glock. There's no safety. Yeah. So things like that drive me nuts.
No, sure.
But
I don't pay attention to that, I guess.
But I get to enjoy the movies too.
Yeah. Mike, what about you? Well, first of all, I'm going to ghost you here. Do you pay attention to the guns? And then if you do, what aspect? Is it the type of guns, the handling, blah, blah, blah?
Yes. And yes, all of that.
Okay.
My wife, I can't tell you how many times she's yelled at me because I'm screaming at the screen and whatnot because they're doing something completely wrong. And I mean, it's hard for me to watch a movie when the tactical team. Well, if my snacktical ass is more tactical than the SWAT team in the movie, I'm screaming at it and I can't hardly watch it. I mean, for real. It drives me nuts.
Yeah. For me, I do pay attention to it. I'm more of their tactics, their handling and tactics, especially if it's a movie based on military type stuff or spec ops or whatever. When it comes to team movements, I'm very critical on team movements. Is if I'm watching a movie and the tactics and the movements aren't good, I'll probably turn that movie off. I remember watching a movie years ago and remembering this is the worst movie in acting I've ever seen in my life, but it is hands down the best team movement tactic wise I've ever seen on a screen. It ended up being Act of Valor, which if you've seen Act of Valor, they were actually active duty SEALs playing it. Well, that makes sense as to why, two things, why it was the worst acting I've ever seen, but it was also the greatest team movements I've ever seen on screen because they were active duty SEALs, which was kind of cool. But yeah, I do watch handling. I'm probably more looking at handling and movements than I am to seeing what kind of guns they are. Watched this morning, it was raining at work, thank God, because I had a hell of a weekend. So I was glad that it was raining, but I was watching it was on Amazon Prime. It's Without Remorse. And if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. If you're a Tom Clancy fan, then you know the character John Clark. This is kind of the origins of John Clark, and there's going to be the Rambo series be coming out. But this is the kind of origins of how John Clark became John Clark. And I'm watching it this morning, and they've got the HK-416, they've got the CZ Scorpion, they've got like a TAR-21, the Tavor, all of them that are the really cool looking guns. which I think the Tavor is one of the coolest looking guns ever, my opinion. But you start seeing those, but then you start seeing, okay, if there's a cool gun, like, oh, I noticed a gun. But if it's just a normal like AR or MP5, or every movie has them all, I don't pay attention to the guns. I'm more into the movements. But every now and then you're going to see some really cool guns.
So Act of Valor.
Act of Valor, yeah.
One of the most awesome action scenes ever in a movie.
Talk about
the gunboat scene.
The Swicks coming in.
The gunboat scene. Yeah.
Swicks are badass, dude. Those Swicks are cool as hell. Yeah, they come around. And it's the sound of the minigun is.
Oh yeah. I just lit up the trucks and stuff. Just awesome.
So let me ask you this: when you first saw Act of Valor, did you know that those guys were SEALs?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Did you?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
So I didn't.
I didn't think the acting
I
didn't think the acting was that bad. I've seen much worse acting, honestly. And I couldn't. I don't have a frame of reference for the tactics, right?
No,
but it was
spot on.
I didn't have a problem. It was a really good movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Just the acting wasn't great, but now I appreciate it even more now that I know this. It's like, okay, well then I'll get over the acting side of it. It's a great story, a great action. The first time I saw it, I remember telling my wife, and I was like, these guys are terrible. Like, where they find these guys? Here's terrible actors, but they are perfect in their movements, like perfect. And then I found out later on that they were not only SEALs, but active duty. Like, they were active duty at the time and all of that. But yeah, great movie. Yeah. But the Swicks coming around that corner, and it just lit up that bank. Yeah. Probably one of the coolest scenes in any movie ever. I have to definitely agree with you. AA, you've never seen Act of Valor. It's on one of the streaming services. I'm not sure which one. Just Google Act of Valor. You can watch it for free if you've got Netflix or Prime or whatever, Hulu or whatever. But it's definitely well worth the time. Great movie. But yeah, if you know what a SWIC is, it's the boats the river boats with but they're SWCC, the SWIC boats. They're with a minigun attached. Just just the sound of the minigun. The minigun and the Mongoose. Greatest sounds ever. I mean, definitely probably the two most recognizable sounds of firearms, but the minigun and the Mongoose, can't go wrong putting those in any movie.
Yeah, and couple that with the sound a chopper makes, right?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Which is one of the baddest sounding. That's just like you hear that, and it's like it's coming, right?
I don't know if you guys talked about it before I got here, but if not, how the hell did we miss Lone Survivor?
It's okay.
It's great. It's one of my favorite all-time movies. But it, as far as a gun movie, as far as just being a great movie, oh hell yeah!
See, the issue I got with Lone Survivor, as well as, and I don't remember if this was in on a chat or in a comment or what, but as well as American Sniper.
Yeah,
is I had read the books long before the movies came out, and the books on both of those are that's a cliche. People say that all the time. The book is better, but I'm telling you, there's things that are not put in the movies that are in those books
for a reason, though. For a reason,
yeah, admittedly, that make it so much better. If you enjoyed the movie any at all, get the audio book or something. Do yourself a huge favor.
What I wish they would do? You know what I wish they would do? So have you guys ever heard Marcus give a speech about Operation Red Wing? Have you ever heard or seen on YouTube Marcus give his speech? Oh, seriously, Mike, I'm dead serious. Just YouTube Marcus Luttrell Operation Red Wing. And you've got an hour. It's worth it. Unbelievable to hear it from him. Amazing. But I wish, because Marcus, and Clover knows this, Marcus has like a very distinctive voice, because he's been reconstructed. I mean, everything in his body was done, but he's got this kind of weird kind of voice. I would love to hear him record the audiobook of Lone Survivor. Like, can you imagine that book, which is a great book, but the audiobook with actually Marcus doing the talking? I think it would be amazing. I would. Yeah, I think Marcus doing the audiobook, because they're not going to do the audiobook with Marcus, but if they did, oh my God, that would be amazing. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. Lone Survivor is a great one. Great movie. I'll tell you a good movie with guns in it. I think people know this. I don't like Ben Affleck, but The Accountant. The Accountant was a really good movie. That's probably that's why it is my favorite. It's one of the few movies of Ben Affleck's that I really like. But if you haven't seen The Accountant, go see The Accountant. That's a really good movie. Pete says Marcus is a podcast. I'm well aware of that. Team Never Quit is my favorite podcast in the world. I wear their t-shirt all the time. I've been listening since day one. I've been listening since before it was Marcus and Morgan. Back when the Wizard was on. The Wizard hasn't been there in a couple of years, but yeah, man. Team Never Quit, Gold Podcast, Team Never Quit, Battle Line Podcast, two of my favorite podcasts. You've got Jocko's podcast is pretty good. You got Mike Ritland's podcasts that are really, really good. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, if you're interested in the military side of stuff, those are my favorite podcasts for sure. All right. We've gone down this rabbit hole enough. Rogue, let us know what you're doing. Tell people where they can find you, and any last minute comments, movies, actors that you want to bring up.
Where you can find me is just about on any social media. Just look for the Rogue Banshee, or you can Google the Rogue Banshee. You'll find my YouTube channel. You'll find my website and stuff like that. Stuff I got going on. It's we finally got some decent weather here in Montana. We've been going between rain, snow, and this week we're going to hit 90. So I'm thinking it's time to get out to the range and send some live ammo down range and do some filming. So I got that coming up soon, and look for those videos coming out. And favorite, any other actors, man, I don't know. It's kind of, JJ just put out The Hurt Locker. I love that movie.
If you know what an EOD life is like, EOD guys are crazy. Great movie.
Totally.
Jeremy, is it Renner? Jeremy Ritter?
Jeremy Renner.
Yeah. I like Jeremy Renner. I like him in a lot of his movies.
So, we talked about a lot of actors. There's a lot of good ones out there. There's a lot of crappy ones too, but I think we kind of talked about everything, and I kind of like just about all of them out there that we've talked about tonight. So, but thanks for having me on tonight. It was definitely a fun night to decompress from a crappy day from work.
Yeah, I've had a hell of a weekend. Doc's out there, says Tombstone. Oh, damn, hell, Boondock Saints. How is that not being brought up at all? What a great movie.
I thought about Boondock Saints at the very first when you mentioned Val Kilmer and the Saint.
Yeah,
I was going to say something about Boondock Saints, and we got off on other stuff.
Not so much. That first one, fantastic.
Yep.
I think they made the second one because the first one became so big they didn't realize it was going to be that
big. But did it? Because the way I remember, the first one kind of caught fire later on, almost like a cult classic. Yeah, I
loved this. Is the first time I ever saw it, and I saw it before I saw the second one. But yeah, Boondock, man, I forget how that great movie. Mike, tell people where they can find you, any projects coming up, and any other closing comments on the discussion that we have had.
I'm Mike with Budget Guns and Gear Reviews. You can find me here on YouTube at Budget Guns and Gear Reviews. You can find me on the web at budgetgunsandgear.com. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at Budget Guns and Gear. I have a Woodsman Wednesday video dropping tomorrow. It is a review on two folding knives, the Bastian Gear Braza and Bastian Gear Persuader. There will not be a Right of the People, which I normally do on Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's where we use the first to defend the second. I talk about Second Amendment related politics, news, and current events. But I will be at Blade Show in Atlanta this weekend. I'm leaving Thursday to go to that. So, yeah, I'll have content from there coming soon. If you're into knives and such, keep on the lookout for that. Other than that, yeah, pretty much same old. Got a review. Actually, I've got a pants and shirt review from First Tactical. Their men's V2 pants and shirt. That'll be coming soonish, as soon as I get around to freaking editing the video and writing the article. But yeah,
he goes down to Tennessee with you, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I wore in Tennessee. Yep. But yeah, thanks for having me, man. Great show as always.
I had fun. Like I said, I didn't want to have to think a whole lot tonight. I'm tired, and I just thought, let's talk about some fun shit. I didn't want to have a serious conversation at all, so this helped out a lot. Ran this 13 hours about Benghazi. Phenomenal. I am going to name drop a little bit. I like the movie, but I like the movie a lot because Tonto is actually a personal friend of mine. I met him about 3 or 4 years ago. And now we text back and forth about once a week. So he's a really, really awesome dude, really humble man. But he's got some stories that are crazy. He'll tell you straight up that was the longest firefight that he's ever been in, but not even close to the craziest one, which is weird. If you've ever seen that movie, you say, how is that not the craziest firefight? Yeah, he's been in some crazy shit, but yeah, 13 hours, great movie. For sure. Great movie. Go watch it. I watched that last week, not too long ago. Yeah, 13 hours is great. And yeah, anyways, that was good. So Clover, let's go to you. Any projects coming up? What do you have going on? Any closing comments on the smorgasbord that we've gone through tonight?
Oh, really? Can't believe we went over 2 hours talking about just this.
I thought if we get an hour of this, we'd be happy, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know if anybody has heard, but I'm retiring from the GunTuber world in the next few weeks. I'm going to start doing tool reviews, so specifically for Harbor Freight. So
yeah, you've got a lot of stuff. We're going to be seeing a lot of shit coming along.
Look for that coming. No, that's totally a joke because you're absolutely right. At this point, we're waiting around on Governor Abbott, man, to sign constitutional carry. And I joke about retiring, but I'm definitely going to retire from 2A for a little while once he does that because, man, I've been covering that and the reviews and the other stuff's been just back it up and stack it up between that and the rain, right?
Yeah.
It's been backing up and stacking up. So look for you talk about a smorgasbord. Look for a smorgasbord of different gear reviews and guns and things. It's going to be a flurry, I think, here in June.
Oh, okay. Budget and wheel. Yeah. Yeah. Looking forward to. I would have already thought that Abbott would have signed it by now. Is he planning a big signing ceremony?
Well, I'm sure he is. So yeah. Okay. Well, okay. So first of all, the session did not even end until yesterday, right? So if you think about it for a minute, and this is all speculation. First of all speculation. Sure. I've got no confirmed reports of anything. This is just my thoughts. So I just want to make sure that people know it's opinion, and I'm not, spreading gospel and telling you that this is the fact of the matter. But it is a fact that the legislative session ended Monday. So I'm sure he wants to. This is the most significant 2A legislation that's been passed in Texas ever. So I'm sure he wants to make a spectacle out of it, right? Which includes the representatives and senators that worked and got the bill through. Those
Schaefer,
right?
For sure needs to be
Schaefer, Schwartner, all of those, right? So if they're in session, which they was until yesterday, right? They don't have time to show up at a gun range with him and PR and all this stuff, right? They're still doing their legislative business. So waiting till after the session was over makes sense. The second thing is we just come through a holiday weekend. too. So,
No,
you know,
I was thinking, I thought he might sign it last week. So, I was just like,
yeah,
man, I thought as soon as he got it, he
it
would
was
sign
not
it.
so it was not eligible. A lot of people don't realize this, but there's administrative process that goes on, right? So the House and the Senate, okay, they both voted to accept the conference committee report. That's cool and smooth. But until that is enrolled in the registry and signed off on by both chambers, the governor can't sign it.
Right.
And that wasn't done until Friday. Well, then we had a holiday weekend.
Okay.
Then we got the legislative session that ends. Then we've got, and so by the letter of the way things work, he's got 10 days from the time they sign off. So basically,
or it becomes law, right?
yeah, he's got 10 days. Yeah, he's got 10 days from Friday, this last Friday, right? But there's also flexibility that can even be extended. So the thing is, he's it's not like he's going to veto it. It's not like he's going to. He's going to
his signature on
he's going to make a spectacle out of it and publicly and all that stuff and sign it. So for those that ain't got ants in your pants, I understand. Believe me, I get it.
It's going to happen the next week, guys.
Just chill. It's going to happen. Just chill. It'll get there.
And
it don't go into effect till September 1st anyway. So.
And if Clover can either get there or find a live feed, he will have it. I'm surprised you're not going down there to Austin if you find out when it's going to be.
If I could find out in enough time, I might do that. Cool. Because I certainly could do that with the press credentials I've got, especially if they actually do a press conference type thing with it. But if there's a live feed, we might as well piggyback that and go, right?
That'd be kind of cool to go down there and see that, though. I mean, that'd be kind of cool.
It would be neat, yeah. But I plan on trying to get some of these, especially Schaefer, on the podcast. I'm going to have Rachel Malone come on. You're going to try to get Schaefer and maybe a few of the other ones that was instrumental in it on the podcast to talk about it. Eventually, they've got to, when you're talking about the representatives and the senators, they've got jobs to do. That's why we elect them and stuff. And so once that's kind of the dust is settled from all of that, hopefully can get folks on and kind of talk some of the behind the scenes. We got to witness a lot of the behind the scenes, right? A lot of everything that went on, but we still didn't know everything that went on. So it'd be interesting to take what we've seen and put that with what they talk about on a podcast. It could be interesting.
Yeah, Jay at Monty out there said, I just saw the clip showing the gunboat scene from Act of Valor. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, it is good stuff. Yeah, that was fun. 2 hours and 17 and a half minutes. God, how the hell we can do this but this was fun. Like I said, I needed a fun, not stressful show, not political, not something we were going to get into just deep thought discussions. This was perfect for me. Tomorrow is Every Second Matters. So whatever people are going to do, at least make a post out there. Do whatever you want to do to celebrate Every Second Matters, but utilize the hashtag Every Second Matters. Let me put this out there on all of your social media. We want to flood the internet with this hashtag Every Second Matters. But yeah, it is tomorrow, so enjoy that. Enjoy your freedoms and all that. There's been some crazy stuff happen in the last couple of weeks, so understand that it's not going away. They're still coming for us. I'm not saying the sky is falling, but they're definitely out there. So Every Second Matters tomorrow. Check out Friday, Mike. Is this the week you're not going to have your show, right? Because you're going to be gone?
That is correct.
Okay. Do you know when it's going to be? Are you going to just skip the whole week completely, or are you doing another makeup show?
I'm probably going to skip the whole thing completely.
Not makeup, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm probably going to skip the whole thing completely because I'm going to be busy from Thursday until Sunday/Monday. Perfect. So, yeah.
So normally on Friday nights, 7 Eastern, I believe, The Right of the People, great podcast, great show over on Budget Guns and Gear. Clover is going to have, I'm assuming Thursday, the studio podcast, and he probably doesn't want to release the topic yet, but
probably dealing with comments. We've talked about that before, about trolls and some different things, but probably talk more from the that can be disheartening for some creators. They don't know quite how to handle it and just different things like that. We'll probably talk about comments.
Yep, there you go. So go check that out. If you're a creator or you're thinking about being a creator, that is a wonderful wealth of information in that podcast, the studio. Go watch all of them. But yeah, very, very, very good podcast if you're either a creator starting out or if you're thinking about it. Hell, if you've been doing it for years and want to know what the hell you're doing wrong, great insight. So that's a good one. Watch Juice. Let's go watch Juice. I think I'm gonna have to go watch Juice. That and Highlander. I'm gonna have to go watch Highlander. I think
maybe doing wrong.
Maybe doing wrong. At least it's going to be the opinion of the panel as to what you might be able to do differently.
Because sometimes you can do something. Yeah, sometimes you could do something off script way out there and it'd be the next greatest thing. So, yeah.
Hickok shot a pumpkin, just saying.
Yep. You never know.
You never know. Guys, thanks so much for everyone out there watching live. Appreciate you guys. Everyone watching and replay or listening to podcasts. Hope you had fun with this, and hope this maybe gave you, if you needed a break from reality and a break from the grind that is maybe something we talked about, made you laugh and let you relax for a little bit. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you soon. Semper Fi.